We want our hurricane specialist, Max Mayfield, to fill us in. And let's begin with your chief certified meteorologist, Betty Davis. Hi, Betty.
Hi, Lori. Good evening, everyone. Let's show you where the hurricane warnings are in play across our area, extending north, even into inland areas, Fort Myers on over toward Fort Pierce, all the way across the peninsula. And then beyond that, we have hurricane watches going on for places like Tampa and Orlando. So all of Central Florida gearing up for what is ahead, and that is some action from Hurricane Irma. Quick peek at the projected path, still slated to make that landfall over the lower Keys, or over the Florida Keys, I should say, as we go into early Sunday, and eventually what's left of Irma winding up over the Tennessee Valley. But let's bring the weather story back home and show you what we're now under, which is a flood watch through Monday evening, because we are expecting quite a bit of rainfall in the area. So it's not just the storm surge and the wind, it's also going to be rain that could cause some issues out there. In fact, the Florida Keys, the forecast showing 8 to 15 inches for rain, to 15 inches of rain, and there will be other areas of the Florida Peninsula that could see rains like that, and maybe some isolated amounts of 20 inches. So we'll be tracking Irma already, some of those outer bands starting to whip in, the occasional band of showers crossing some areas in Broward, even down toward the Keys. And with that, we won't rule out a few brief tornadoes, that occurring with the rain bands and ahead of the actual landfall. So be prepared for that on Saturday, as well as the tropical storm force winds becoming sustained through the day. Right now, we have winds from the northeast. It is blustery out, but not tropical storm force yet. Sustained 15 to near 20 miles per hour or just over. Notice a northeast wind in Kendall at 23, gusting to 30 there. Pompano Beach, a 28 mile per hour wind gust there. Let's bring the view now back to Hurricane Irma on full display as it's moving between Cuba and the Bahamas. Still lashing these areas, bringing the rain, bringing the wind. Maximum sustained winds of Irma at 155 miles per hour. Gusts up to 190, pressure 924 millibars, moving west at 12 miles per hour. And as you stated earlier, Lori, that center of circulation just under 315 miles southeast of Miami. Let's bring our hurricane specialist, Max Mayfield, into the discussion, Max, because we've been looking at that eye and asking a few questions.
Right, you can see the very distinct eye. It's actually larger now than it had been earlier, and you can see that ring around the eye, the central dense overcast, and within that is the eye wall, and a portion of that, this seems like it's going more westward right now, and part of that inner core is over Cuba. So we'll see if that gets disrupted. Even if it does, well, it depends on how much of that core goes over Cuba. If it keeps going westward a little bit more than people think, it will weaken it somewhat. But the one thing here, you can look at the rain. Those, the bands are feeding in here counterclockwise as well, and not just the north coast of Cuba is getting clobbered with rain, but the southern coast as well. Anywhere you have that onshore flow. And they're forecasting 10 to 15 inches, some isolated amounts up to 20 inches, which is going to be similar to what we have here in the Florida Keys and Florida. So this is having huge impacts on Cuba right now. If that, at that speed, even though this is normally the weak side here over the northern coast of Cuba, this is. That definitely looks like it's getting on shore there.
They're getting nailed, and just look at how big the system is. You can see even Jamaica catching a little bit of that weather way down there. Some of those clouds coming across.
Right, and I think we've got Dr. Ed Rappaport, our friend at the National Hurricane Center. Ed, are you there?
We may not have him just yet, Max and Betty.
Okay, well, let's talk more about the projected path. Oh, there you are. Can you hear us, Ed?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, can we talk about Irma, specifically that center of circulation and that interaction it may be seeing that eye wall with that north coast of Cuba? What does that mean going ahead as far as the forecast?
It probably won't make a big difference for us, but it makes a huge difference for Cuba, of course, if you have a landfall of a Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane. It might disrupt the circulation a little bit by passing over land. It might bring the winds down a bit, but ultimately the overall pattern won't change because of this land interaction. Again, really what's going to count is how far west does the center go when it makes that turn. That makes all the difference in the world for South Florida. Probably makes a difference in whether we get Category 3 or 4 conditions versus getting Category 1 or maybe Category 2 conditions here.
Ed, the Hurricane Center has a few models there, some of those research models that you don't have permission to share. Are those pretty much in agreement with the ones that we've been showing?
Yes, they pretty much the consensus is that the storm will turn. It's not quite sure, again, as we said, where that turn will occur, but regardless, it looks like the Florida Keys are in for a really bad time. The worst of it's going to be there, as you know, with the storm surge. We had that video we were showing a minute ago with the storm surge in the background. But the winds, we don't know yet, as you've been saying, whether it'll be mostly on the west coast, but still possibly on the east coast.
You've got that storm surge animation. I've been doing some radio interviews. I haven't heard if you've shown that lately, but if you haven't, can you show that again?
What we're showing now is storm surge video is from past storms, just so people can see what it looks like and the kind of damage it can do. These are from cases like Katrina and others, but the surge you're seeing back here are really only cases where we have 4 or 5 feet of surge, whereas we're expecting 5 to 10 feet in the Keys, and potentially along our coast if the winds do come as high as the highest as the maximum. Otherwise, the highest surge will be out on the southwest coast instead.
I remember the Labor Day hurricane in 1935, one of the Cat 5 hurricanes actually swept cars off the overseas highway there that they found cars out in Florida Bay years after the hurricane.
Right, and of course it knocked over the rescue train that they sent to get the workers out. So it shows how strong not only how important the surge is, but the waves, how strong they are and what they can do to structures that are on the Keys.
Yeah, and are you still, you talk to us about where that surge will be. I know most people think it's to the right side, but talk a little bit about elsewhere.
Well, the surge will be mostly on the right side, but in this case, when it passes through, let's say the center comes across the peninsula like this, it's going to be a problem for the Keys in both when it passes having a north wind and having the south wind, and in some cases out in the west, they'll probably get both. And in this case, again, could get to 5 to 10 feet of surge from one side and then the 5 to 10 feet of surge from the other side after the storm passes.
And even up the peninsula, we're going to have storm surge on both sides too, especially on that west coast. I think a lot of people don't understand that they're going to have that on the south side of the eye as it moves up the peninsula on the Gulf Coast.
That's right. In fact, you can see that, relatively speaking, which area is more vulnerable. On the southwest coast, there's a lot larger area that can flood from storm surge than there is on the southeast coast. So if indeed the storm center comes ashore further to the west, it's going to be extremely dangerous on the southwest coast, and that's where we would think that 6 to 12 feet of surge can occur when the winds are coming in this direction. And of course, as the center gets farther north, as you've been talking about, the onshore flow will drive that water up onto the coast.
Right. Ed Rappaport from the National Hurricane Center, thank you so much for that update. We'll
Thanks,
be checking
Ed.
in with you throughout the night.
Thank you.
Can I just say one thing if we have enough time here? We're focused on, Cuba, the Bahamas, and South Florida. The Hurricane Center forecasters, they're not just working Irma, but they're working Jose and Katia. They've got 3 hurricanes out there. And when they have to call these islands to coordinate the watches and warnings. They've agreed to, we did this decades ago actually, and so we help coordinate the watches and warnings for the entire region, the Caribbean and all these islands, and they're already, as the watches and warnings go up the state, I mean, they're already talking to the weather service offices in Tampa and Melbourne and Jacksonville and up in Georgia and even the Carolinas. So they've got a lot of people to coordinate with, and I know they've got to be getting tired.
Yeah, hands are full all the way. What a long weekend ahead. Calvin and Lori.
And Max and Betty, before you go, I mean, they keep talking about everything depends on how far west Irma makes this turn. And to hear Ed Rappaport even mention Category 1 or 2 versus 3 or 4, can you expound on that, Max?
Well, it's just actually, I'll tell you, the next hit will show some of the damage that can result from the different categories. But all other things being equal, the stronger the hurricane, the higher the storm surge, and for the same given size. So this is again, that Labor Day hurricane, Category 5 hurricane. It was. There were some estimates 12 to 18 feet of storm surge.
And Max, based on what we're seeing right behind you, that graphic, it looks like Hurricane Irma is smashing into Cuba a lot more than what we had anticipated. Is that fair to say? Look at the eye there, smashing into Cuba. Will that in fact weaken it a little bit, and then is it still going to veer northward in that trajectory that you talked about?
It could, but I've seen some hurricanes that go over even large islands all the way across, like the Dominican Republic. Hurricane Frederick's a good example. 1979, it went in as I think a Category 5 hurricane, and when it goes over the mountains, it just totally disrupts that low-level circulation. But the mid-level circulation is still, very, very intense. So as soon as it gets across the mountains or away from the mountains, it's just like that circulation drops right back down to the surface, and they can just start all over again. So it may get disrupted. Sometimes that the smaller eye wall will kind of fall apart, and it may expand. There's some good to that because the wind speed usually goes down a little bit, but the bad part is that if it expands, that is going to end up impacting an even larger area. Katrina did that to some extent. So there are pluses and minuses to all these things, but we'll just have to wait and see if it continued to go west. That would definitely weaken it, but none of the models do that. The models are all in agreement that it will eventually turn to the north, and the fear is here that even if it gets involved with land a little bit, once it gets to the north of the island and moves over the warm Gulf Stream, it will make a comeback.
And Betty, before we join our crews in Coconut Grove, we understand they're getting some rain right now. Are some areas going to experience these far outer bands?
Right. Some of those rain bands are already starting to wrap in tonight, and you'll get the occasional wind gust with those bands. Right now, winds I've seen gusting up to 30 miles per hour, and that's going to be ramping up through the night. And we'll talk more about the winds and what we're going to anticipate overnight into tomorrow as more of those rain bands move into the area. And there we have one coming through. Kendall, sustained wind at 23, probably gusting to about 30.